welcome to Future Problem Solving Program. I would like to thank you for taking time out of your busy day or evening to join us. I know Ms. May Tan from Singapore has invited several educational leaders, and we do have some people registered from Korea and various states across the US. If I did not mention where you are from, please extend my welcome and maybe let us know in the chat if you are from an area different than the ones I mentioned. We are going to talk about the benefits and overview of future problem solving. Future problem solving is an academic program for students that also teaches vital skills in education today. Let me pause a minute and open up the waiting room. I apologize. So not only do we focus on academic topics and future problem solving, we focus on many aspects that take students into the real world: critical and creative thinking, problem solving, and decision making. And our motto here at the bottom of the screen, teaching students how to think, not what to think, are some of the lasting benefits that our students gain, not only from participation as a student in primary or secondary or high school, but also as a student of tomorrow. Our program was founded by creativity pioneer Dr. E. Paul Torrance. He is known globally for his work and his assessment in creativity. His value of assessing creativity, including flexibility, fluency, originality, and elaboration, are evident in the work we ask of students, but also in our authentic assessment model. We have 4 major components that students can participate in. They are listed here, and detailed information about each of these programs can be found on our website, or I can send you follow-up information. Overarchingly, the components are either team or individual. They either address problems of the future, problems such as neurotechnology, drones, mining, or problems within the community, where students actually find a local problem, go through the problem-solving process, and impact sustainable change. We do have examples of all of our components on our website. They can be found as an overview of what the students are being asked to do, but you can also see examples of actual student work to get a nice feel for what the students are being asked to do and the high level that our students perform in. Before I move into the next section of the presentation, which is the top 5 reasons we feel future problem solving is beneficial, I do just want to pause and see if there are any questions I can answer based on the information that I've shared so far. So if you have any questions so far, feel free to raise your hand.
I want to go to the virtual space, where that's where the students work is. I want to go in and see. No, not the presentation. Inside the virtual space, yeah.
That's what they present there was a oral drawing.
I'm sorry, are you asking a question? I cannot quite hear you. Okay, are there any questions so far that anyone has that I can answer or you can put in the chat? Okay, we'll move into the next section, the top 5 reasons future problem solving is beneficial for students. So the first reason is that our program teaches a clear and logical thinking process. I mentioned our founder, Dr. E. Paul Torrance. He used a creative problem solving model to teach students. And our problem solving model is listed here. It is a 6-step process. In the first step, the students analyze the situation that is presented to them, and they generate challenges or issues related to that situation. Their research, their background reading, their divergent thinking to come up with flexible and many ideas is a strong skill and outcome in step 1. In step 2, the students apply their convergent thinking and focus on all of the challenges from step 1, and they narrow it down to a single focused area. This really helps them to identify the major concern so that their action is focused and driven on the big situation. Step 3 is where they broaden again and generate many ideas on solutions to their selected underlying problem. Step 4 and 5 are steps that I personally find as extremely valuable. In my years of working with students, I found that they had a really easy time with generating and brainstorming and coming up with lots of ideas. But then determining which of those ideas were better than others, judging them against each other, developing criteria, that was an area that I really felt future problem solving taught the students beyond other programs that I had them participate in. So in step 4, the students themselves generate criteria. They decide if they're going to look for a humane solution, a solution that best meets the needs of a community, and then develop 5 of those criteria or benchmarks that they can measure against each other. And then they apply them to a matrix. And the matrix helps them identify which one of those is their actual winning solution or their best solution. The students then, as the 6th step in the culmination of their problem solving experience, they take their best solution and they develop a plan of action. They think about who they might have assist them in their action plan, who might be a resistor of their action plan, and how they might overcome that. So their strongest solution is then very well developed. Not only do they write this solution in one of our components' global issues, but they also perform their solution as a presentation or a skit to a live audience. This helps them share all of their hard work and celebrate with others what they determined as their best solution. That's a very quick overview of the 6-step process. We offer in-depth trainings to students. We offer curriculum materials. Through the competitive year, there are practice problems that they can submit for rubric-based feedback. So some of the ways that we feel future problem solving is a solution to the problem of not having many models to teach critical and creative thinking is that we provide strategies, we provide a framework, and we provide an approach that can be tied to the curriculum. Our topics that our students study are a wide variety across the academic studies. Gives them a chance to learn and apply their life skills that they need for the 21st century. The second reason that we feel future problem solving is valuable to students is that they are empowered to think about the future. And this aspect was one of the important reasons why Dr. E. Paul Torrance created future problem solving. He was working with youth in the state of Georgia in the US and felt that the students weren't talking about the future, they weren't thinking about their future, they weren't taking what was happening in current events and projecting it into the future. So why do we feel that's very important? Well, we feel that studying the future is not only beneficial for our students, but it helps society as a whole. It enables creative endeavors that many times leads to innovation. But the last bullet, I think, is more evident than ever before, and that is it allows our students to respond to rapid change. Our students who have learned and mastered our problem-solving model have the skills to adapt to change and understand what might be coming next, what potential challenges are in their way, but also to be empowered to have solutions to help them along the way. And I always include this quote because it's one of my favorites. It's not that they, being our students, can't see the solution, it's that they can't see the problem. So we really encourage them to dig deep. What is the root of the problem before they can develop all those great solution ideas that they have? I'm going to skip through this to honor our time. That was just a reflection activity that takes a little bit of time, and I do want to honor our administrators that are here and department heads as your valuable time, keeping our 30-minute time limit. So the third reason that we feel future problem solving is beneficial to students is that it equips them with 21st century skills. These skills are the forefront of educational endeavors and initiatives in countries and school districts across the world. We focus on creativity, involving students to participate in inventive thinking activities, but also to think about future possibilities from the present. So taking the now and projecting it into the future. Along with creativity, we have the critical thinking piece. And that's where you learn skills and tools to take all of those creative ideas and then actually analyze them, understand them, and move forward to take action. Communication. Did you have a question? Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure. Communication. The students not only work with each other and the team, but they also might work with their community. If they are working with our community problem solving, they might be working with community leaders, decision makers in the community. So communication is absolutely vital. And then collaboration. Not only working with each other, collaborating, but collaborating with outside entities. We've had students who have worked on projects of healthy eating, who've worked with outside networks outside of their schools. We've had students who've worked on environmental concerns and reached out to science centers and environmental groups in their states and countries. So it really gives them the avenue to collaborate with those local decision makers in their area. So critical and creative thinking, working together is really what makes the problem solving process work. So as I mentioned in the 6 steps, step 1, when they're developing lots of challenges, and step 3, when they're developing a lot of solutions, that's where that divergent thinking comes into play. And then you see the big ampersand in the middle, because that big and sign connects that critical and creative thinking. And then they must converge on their ideas, focused in on the best ones, matching their target, and move forward in the process. So here's just some examples of students working together, working as a team in their community, communicating in a written manner and in a verbal manner. They might submit their work pencil, paper, or typed via technology, and then also performed. And then over to the far side, we have a student who's showing his presentation to not only his peers, but community members. So here are some of the characteristics of the students in our program and the skills that they leave our program with. Futuristic thinking, that projection into the future. They are collaborative. They are effective problem solvers, analytical researchers, expert innovators, ethical leaders. And I think the ethical leadership skill has always been one that we have seen in our students. And I think more and more as things are changing around our globe, I think that ethical leadership piece is one that is becoming increasingly more important. diverse thinkers, being able to think differently, but also being able to listen to the diverse thinking of others, and then global citizens. So the fourth reason we feel that students should participate in future problem solving is so that they can learn and adapt to new and unexpected situations on the fly. As educational leaders who are here with us, I'm sure every day you must adapt to something new and certainly sometimes unexpected. So the topics that our students study are global topics, and we cover a variety of different strands. Many of our topics are STEAM or STEM strands: biosecurity, invasive species, nanotechnology. And we have 5 topics every year, and at least 2 of them, or sometimes even 3, have a strong connection to STEM or STEAM. Several of our topics study global citizenship. So what is the global status of women, or environmental law, climate change? And a lot of our topics really help students with their social, emotional, not only internal thoughts and feelings, but also things that are happening around the world: the global workplace, rage and bullying, and social isolation. My time as an educator, I was spent in a classroom with students who were advanced. They were either identified as gifted or had high potentials. And these students many times would kind of carry the weight of the world on themselves. And, they would read something in the news and they would become very, very concerned about some kind of current event. And after spending time with the students and teaching them the 6-step process, they felt empowered to be able to look at a situation, come up with possible solutions, and it really did give them a tool or a framework so that they weren't as impacted and carrying all of that on them. So I have seen the effectiveness of the problem solving with students, not only on academic performance, but also on being able to analyze what's happening around them. So some of our topics of study, as I mentioned, cover social and political, science and technology, but we do also have business and economics strands. Many of our topics every year align with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So we've studied topics about poverty, hunger and health, inequality, sustainable cities and communities. One of my favorite topics several years ago was the topic of mega cities. And I have been to the beautiful country of Singapore, where many of you are from, and certainly a lot of problem solving happens there in the development and construction. And then responsible consumption and production. So how are we using goods that are produced, and how can we do so more responsibly? We do have a variety of schedules that participate in our program. Our Southern Hemisphere schools follow a different topic schedule. They're about 6 months different than the Northern Hemisphere schedule. So these are the topics that the Southern Hemisphere is studying. So the first 2 topics are practice problems, youth and competitive sports, and wearable technology. Our Southern Hemisphere schools that currently participate have already completed these topics and received feedback. The first competitive topic is on human environmental impact. They will submit that for competition, and then those winners will move on to a national bowl, which will be on the topic of personalized medicine. And this will be where they apply the 6-step model. So the last reason we feel that future problem solving gives students an edge is that it helps them stand out in college and careers. This is a report from the World Economic Forum where They surveyed businesses and the workforce and asked what companies and corporations were seeking from their future employees. And in 2020, they mentioned as number one, complex problem solving, critical thinking as number two, creativity as number three, people management as number four. And all of these skills are taught and experienced in the future problem solving program. Helps students think outside the box, work in a timed and pressured environment. Our competitive rounds are completed in 2 hours. So when there is national finals on the topic of personalized medicine in October and November, the students will have 2 hours to complete their problem solving process. It helps them assess short and long-term implications, look at the big picture, collaborate, and utilize a process. So all of these skills can be listed on students' applications for university or college, and also as they enter into the workforce. So I will end my formal presentation with the vision of our organization. And the vision is that we desire to create a strong, resilient, prosperous world where no problem is too complex to solve. And I hope that I've offered you information and an overview. I do know we had several people coming in after I started. I did start close to the start time to honor everyone's busy schedules. I am happy to stay on after. I am happy to answer any questions you have and also follow up via email. I sincerely appreciate you joining us. If future problem solving is brand new to you, I hope this gave you a nice overview. If you are here because you have students who are competing in our international conference this week, thank you for supporting them and for providing them with the experience they are sharing with students from around the globe. So my name, April Mickley, my email, I can follow up to all of you that were here, and happy to answer any questions. Okay, if there are any questions that anyone might have, I'm happy to answer them. You can type them in the chat or raise your hand. I know I also included in the email with this Zoom link, I also included access to our virtual conference platform. You are more than welcome to log on using that information that I provided. You can share excitement of the kids' projects by visiting and reading about all the work that they're doing. I do see a message from our board president, Arjun Hicks. She is the state of Georgia's director, but also the president of our Future Problem Solving Programs Board of Trustees. Thank you for being with us, Arjun. Okay, well, I'm going to end the presentation. Thank you so much for being with us. And please let me know if there's any questions I can follow up with. I am happy to do so. Thank you.